Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Use a hidden camera and caught my GF cheating on me with my sister's BF. My girlfriend, 20, has been living with me, 21M, and my family for the past 2 years, been together for almost 4. She got into a huge fight with her dad and decided to move out. My mom, being the kind person she's always been, offered to let her live with us. I agreed, of course. I loved her. Loved. Now, I've always been somewhat of a jealous type in a relationship, but not the crazy kind. The title suggests otherwise, I know, but it was the only way to the truth. My suspicions first arose about a year ago when I was playing this board game Codenames with my sister, 24, her boyfriend, 24, and the cheating bitch, let's call her Stacy. Stacy and my sister's boyfriend were on a team together, and right away I didn't like the energy they were giving off. She was laughing at all his jokes, he was teasing her about some shit. It all just looked flirtatious to me, and I wasn't having any of that. That night, I talked to her about it and she told me that it was nothing. Of course. During this time, I was going to school and had a job working as a cook, so I was out of the house most of the time. Some days I wouldn't get home until midnight. My parents worked 8 to 4 jobs, as well as my sister. My girlfriend only worked weekends, and she took her schooling online. My sister's boyfriend is in construction, but his schedule is 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Most of the day, Stacy and my sister's boyfriend were home alone together. My suspicions only grew ever since that board game night. Every time they were in a room together, Stacy would barely look at him anymore. They'd make small talk here and there. I could tell the dynamic of their relationship changed. I confronted Stacy again, asking why all of a sudden she was acting so awkward around him, and she said it's because she doesn't want to upset me. At this point I felt bad for making her feel guilty. I said I'd never bring it up again, and I kept my word. Until 6 days ago. I was lying down on the couch upstairs in the living room. Stacy was in the kitchen, which was half visible from where I was, making a smoothie. My sister's boyfriend comes downstairs and starts making lunch for himself. I couldn't see what they were doing, but I pretended not to care, holding my phone to my face. I could barely see their figures in the back door's glass reflection. They were shifting around each other, trying to do their own thing, when all of a sudden he slaps her ass. In that moment, I felt frozen. Every part of me flared up. After my sister's boyfriend went back upstairs, I got up from the couch, went to the front door, and put my shoes on. Stacy comes toward me and says, "Where are you going?" And I just responded, "Really?" I saw what just happened, then I left and slammed the door behind me. She chased after me, getting all angry, trying to act as if nothing even happened. I told her what I saw, which just made her even more mad. "A reflection? So you're saying you didn't even see it then? You thought you saw it, you wanted to see it just to justify your psycho thoughts." At this point she's threatening to break up with me. Saying she's going to move out and live on her own. Making me feel guilty by saying she's broke, that she'll have to drop out of school and work full-time at a shit job. As much as I wanted to just end all of it and let her go at this point. I apologized. I apologized for everything, begged her to stay, and promised to never, ever bring it up again. It took a lot of convincing, but eventually she decided to stay and we walked back to the house. But I knew what I saw. I just needed hard evidence. That same night I ordered a tiny black hidden camera from Amazon. When it arrived, I set it up in the living room next to the kitchen just at the corner of one of the curtains. The next morning, 2 days ago, when everyone was still asleep, I discreetly took out the chip, put it in the USB and quickly went through the footage on my laptop. Nothing. I cleared up the space and put the chip back in the camera. And then yesterday, I finally got what I wanted. I woke up before everyone else again, and viewed the chip. Approximately at 3:15 a.m., I saw my sister's boyfriend slowly walk downstairs and sit on the couch. A few minutes later, Stacy walks upstairs from our room. She carefully walks over to him, sits on his lap, and I couldn't bear to watch anymore. I was in complete disbelief. The girl who I spent 4 years with, the girl I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Cheating on me with my sister's boyfriend. All this time. Lying to my face, making me feel guilty. I went back downstairs, woke up Stacy, placed the laptop in front of her, and played the video. As soon as she realized what was happening, she instantly closed it and froze. Nothing was said for what felt like an eternity. She started sobbing, trying to utter words until I finally spoke up. "You're the most conniving, disgusting sociopath I've ever met. Start packing your shit right fucking now, or I'm sending this to everyone you know. We're done." What followed was a very long, pathetic, sorry excuse for an apology that I don't even want to get into. Eventually she called her dad. He came by and picked her, so I guess she's going to live with her family again. A lot of her things are still here, and she doesn't have any friends to deliver it to her, so I have no idea what to do with all the shit. As for my sister and her boyfriend, he's also been kicked out of the house and now has his own place somewhere. Who knows, maybe Stacy might even move in with him. I don't fucking care. TLDR. My girlfriend lived with me and my family. Noticed she was acting sus around my sister's boyfriend. Saw him slap my girlfriend's ass. Bought a camera to get evidence of her cheating. Turns out she was. Bye bitch. Comments from community. Funny how the one part of this story is her take on the reflection. Like, if she were standing in front of a mirror, would she ask herself, am I there, or do I want to see me there? Crack me up. But the story is a really screwed up one. Sorry it happened, but I am glad you caught her. Your suspicions were correct, unfortunately. How did you handle telling your sister? And how did you not deal justice on her boyfriend? And you do know that cheaters disassociate and compartmentalize. Meaning their brain subverts their thinking mind and mental gymnastics, like the reflection in the glass, ensues. They believe their own crap. Like a split personality, two very different people in the same body. I think they are insane. It is all the worse when the affair fog kicks in. Sorry for your loss. Not much to offer besides the following web pages. And darn it, I always seem to get carried away, because it is a fact that we humans are clueless about dating and relationships. So I apologize in advance for my assuming things and long reply. The problem with trying to look up and find a definitive discussion on the process and all facets of communication is there appears to not be one, at least I have not found one. So we end up having to find it piecemeal. We meet a potential partner, they tell us some things about themselves, and we agree to a connection based on suppositions only. We do not know who they really are. We only know the things they want us to know. Communication is about agreeing to be as honest, open and transparent as we each are capable of being, toward one another. Not ever an easy task, but for the purpose of avoiding things like you just experienced, it is an absolute necessity. No matter what we agree to for one another, we will only know what they allow us to know. But the agreement is a start. The way this finding out who a partner really is, can only be accomplished by asking particular questions and paying very close attention to how and what our partner answers. Refusals, etc. must be catalogued for later discussion. The questions must be phrased as open-ended to avoid useless yes or no answers. For instance, if I ask my wife, "Have you ever cheated in a relationship?" and she answers no, truthfully. That seems fine, right? But what if I ask her first, "What is your definition of cheating?" And she then answered, "I see cheating as having physical sex only, flirting is not cheating." I think you see the can of worms that suddenly opened. Yes or no is useless. Now I have to ask her, if she sees cheating according to her definition as a divorce-only option? She then answers, "No, cheating is not a deal-breaker." More open-ended questions ensue. Now I ask her, "What is your definition of sex?" She then answers, "PIV only, nothing else is having sex." See the point, she can do everything but PIV and it not be cheating in her book. And even if it is PIV, she thinks it is still redeemable. The web has over 200 suggested questions, open-ended phrased, many you need to phrase yourself, to ask and find out who you are dating. Yes or no tells you very little at all. Discussion, sharing and asking pointed questions is the only way to go. Make sure you have time and will not be interrupted, and it is recommended it begin in private, like at a park in suitable weather. Face-to-face and in person always. Not texting of even a phone call. You cannot get the full range of expressions, voice inflections, and body language unless it is done in person. There was a post recently where a guy said his girlfriend would only have talks with him if they were sitting back to back. See the problem? Communication is not simply talking, talking is no more than being neighborly. Communication is an entire process. Once initiated, it must continue for the life of the relationship. It also must include things like knowing the ruts that develop in all relationships and seeking to avoid them. Always trying to keep things fresh, new, and exciting. Remembering to not live beyond your means, including having more children than your relationship can handle without external assistance. Save this stuff for your next endeavor and the possibility of picking the right person next time around. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.